Oh, thank you so much to the band. Such a beautiful offering song. And so now we are finally to the main part of our program that I'm sure you're all excited and really came here with eager hearts to receive God's message for us this morning. And so without much further ado, I'd like to invite up my older brother and the senior pastor of the Northeast and the Clifton Family Church, Pastor Naokimi Ushiroda.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Let's try again. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good to see you all. So today, I wanted to, one thing I want to correct is my message is not the main portion, I would say. It's actually the whole experience, since it's spirit and truth. And I'm just sharing the truth part. It's like 1%. The rest of it is the environment here, the music, the fellowship, the greeting. All of this is part of the experience of our service. And without you, it wouldn't be the same. So thank you guys for coming today. Let's give yourselves a hand. Appreciate that. So today I was asked to share about a little bit from our true mother, Mother Moon's message that she gave to the youth last week, 2 weeks ago, actually. 2 weeks ago in Las Vegas, she shared a message. And I just wanted to share 3 points, because I don't think people can remember more than 3. So 3 main points. There were many points, but there were 3 points that I'd like to really articulate today on what our Mother Moon, our true mother, has shared, especially to the youth. She has a very particular message to them. Now, for those who feel they're not youth, don't worry. Think of your grandchildren or your children. Think of what you want to convey, what our true mother wants to convey to the next generation, and you can help communicate that to the next generation. So the first thing that really stood out to me was she kept mentioning about identity. You need to know who you are. You need to know who you are. So what is our identity as the youth, right? She says, this is a quote, "The first generation of members, your parents," just imagine there's 1,200 second, third, and young first generation in the room. 1,200. You're talking about like this room times maybe 5. Full. And she's talking to a sea of young people. And she's saying this: "The first generation of members, your parents, received the blessing and gave birth to you, the second generation, which is you. So you, the second and third generation members who have gathered here today, are the genuine sons and daughters of the true parents, the only begotten daughter and true mother. You must firmly understand who you are. There are many impure waters in the world, so you must clearly recognize your identity." So she was really trying to convey, and Eva shared her testimony, how she realized that none of these 1,200 youth would exist if their parents weren't guided in marriage together. The children would literally not exist. Because Father and Mother Moon hosted these marriage blessing ceremonies to really help unite people from different backgrounds to produce a lineage that was really centered on God and centered with the vision of peace in the world. Keep in mind, I was doing the math. For every person in that room, there were at least 7 other second generation who were not in the room. So in America, we have in our national community about 10,000 second and third generation. So even though this was the largest gathering I've ever been to for the next generation, there were many more who were also not there, not able to attend directly. And so I want to keep that in mind as well. But anyway, the point is identity. Really helping to each person to understand you are God's children. You are my children. You are the children of God and true parents, of God's lineage. This is part of the identity that Mother really wanted to directly communicate. Second thing that she mentioned that stood out to me was she wanted us to not only know who we are as God's children, but to actually do something to bring peace in the world. So not just like say, oh, I'm good, I'm pure, I'm a child of God, sucks to be you. No, I mean, it's really to know, by knowing who you are, to actually help others, help God's will, help society. So she says, it is my wish as the only begotten daughter, true mother, and Wangoma. Wangoma is like grandmother, or in traditional like Korean, it's more like the queen mother or something like that. That all of you as pure water grow well and become leaders who are fully equipped in every respect, and who can spread our heavenly parents' dream across the earth. So, and then she goes on to share that, pure water, even pure water, if it stays stagnant, or if it doesn't flow, if it doesn't move, it becomes stagnant and impure. So think of a stream of water. Part of what makes the stream and the water pure is because it's flowing. It's not just sitting somewhere. And so she's encouraging the next generation to move, to do something, to contribute to God's will, not just stand still. So she really encouraged us to become leaders who can really be equipped with every aspect. Means you need to train yourself. You need to be the best in your field, and you need to spread God's dream of a peaceful world. So she's really imploring the next generation to take on that kind of leadership on the foundation of knowing their identity. And then the third point that I wanted to mention, again, there were many points, but the third point that stood out to me was she emphasized restoring the earth. Restoring the earth. So kind of like environmentalism, but from a God's viewpoint. So I'm going to read one last passage. Due to 6,000 years of human ignorance, the things of creation have suffered damage at our hands. Today, severe climate change spawns heavy rainfall, forest fires, tornadoes, and many other indescribable problems. As you must be aware, these lead to the deaths of many people who should be living together in heaven on earth. In considering how to restore the earth to its original state in attendance of the Heavenly Parent, I pray that all of you, through your sincere devotions, effort, and wisdom, can meet these challenges, that you can gain expertise in your various fields and restore this earth to its beautiful original state. So it's interesting, but Mother is kind of like thinking about Mother Earth, and she wants us to use our talents and skills to restore the beauty of the earth as children of God. So again, three key points: know your identity, also become leaders who can fulfill God's will, and third, restore the earth. Those were 3 points that I got from her message 2 weeks ago. Now, there was something else I wanted to share that's related to that. This week, I had a chance to attend 2 Seonghwa funeral services of our young members. Actually, there was last Wednesday, I attended Jeffrey Kiluba. He was, I think, turning 25. And we went all the way up to upstate New York to attend his funeral service, Seonghwa service. And then just yesterday, we attended a second generation, Akinobu Iwasaki. He was 19 years old, and he also recently passed. So, yeah, in one sense, it was a very heavy spirit to have to go to 2 funerals for young members of our community. But what I wanted to really hone in on was the beauty that I saw of all the people who responded. When we went on Wednesday, it was like 400 people. Again, about maybe almost double the size of the people here. And the cool thing, the amazing thing about the Jeffrey's Seonghwa funeral service was that half the participants, at least to me, it looked like half of them were not members of our community. So I was wondering, where did they come from? How did they know about this? Actually, there were a lot of white people. And I was wondering, we're mostly Asian, that's why I'm saying that. But actually, I went to other funeral services. Most funeral services, they're the same ethnicity. If you go to funerals, it's usually the same exact. But this was very clearly mixed and balanced. And it turns out that Jeffrey was on the wrestling team of his high school, and his coaches came up and shared a testimony. He was also part of the volunteer fire department. And so they did a whole fire department salute at the burial site. And there was a whole group of firemen that were also there. And the high school math teacher gave a testimony. And what I felt was this young man of 24, 25 years of age, he lived such a life of making a difference and impact on people. It actually made me feel like, oh man, I gotta catch up. Because there were so many people who were not members of our community that were there. That means he wasn't confined even by our faith community. He was interrelating and impacting and serving people outside of this immediate community. And that it really moved me, that at such a young age he could make such an impact on people's lives. And then Akinobu's Seonghwa funeral service yesterday, he was a different kind. It was I guess for me what was moving was he was, I couldn't really tell, but I think he's my height or maybe a little bit taller. But anyway, point is, he wanted to be an NBA player. And the thing was, he was so determined that he would get up at 5 a.m., 4 a.m., 3 a.m., even 2 a.m. to practice basketball. Basketball was his life. And despite he knew his own limitations, he still never gave up. He kept practicing, he kept shooting for the goal. And to me, that was really inspiring, that he knew he wasn't perfect, he knew he was limited, but he lived it to his best, and he fought till the very end to pursue his dream. And again, it was a full house, 300 plus people, and I was just, again, moved by these young sons of God, these brothers who really lived their life to the fullest. And it was a reminder to me that we also, we have one life to live, guys. So it's so important to really live full out and really make your life. We don't know when it's going to end. These are both sudden, tragic passings. Just because you're young doesn't mean you're guaranteed that you got another 30, 50 years, right? So to really live each day with meaning, with purpose, with something that can make a difference in other people's lives. I think that's a really important reminder, and I feel like Mother's message to the next generation was along those lines, is really live your life, know who you are, make a difference in this world to contribute to peace, and also take care of the earth. That was kind of always there. And one last thing I would say is, actually, I was inspired by one of the elders, since her name is Wonpon. She signed up for a leadership training or a goal setting, life and leadership goal setting program called Achieve that I've been developing. It started yesterday. How old are you, Wonpon? She's 80 years old. She's 80 years old. But she's still learning. She's still growing. She's still striving to really understand her identity, set goals, make a difference. And I feel, to me, despite age, everyone here, really to be alive, you need to have something to live for. You need a dream to strive and work towards. And what better than to find that kind of dream? Again, it doesn't have to be the same. Find your unique passion and dream, pursue it with all your heart, and through that, make a difference in the world. So I want to leave you with a question, as I usually do. The discussion question for today is, what can I do to respond to True Mother's hope for us? What can I do to respond to True Mother's hope for each of us? Okay? So it's either you, think you also have children, grandchildren. What can I do to respond to the hope that she has for the next generation? So that 5 minutes, please discuss in pairs with someone next to you, and then we'll come back after that. Have reflection music. All right, thank you, everyone. Please conclude your sharing. Okay, so, anyone want to share? Do we have a second mic, or do I need to run around? Anyone else want to share from what you discussed? How would you like to respond to Mother's hope for the next generation? Any brave soul? I did hear most of you talking. So, someone would like to share something that came up in your discussion? Oh, we got Ken Owens on the side. Let's give him a hand for volunteering.
Thank you. In the Navy, you don't want to volunteer, but here you have to. Actually, I mentioned about the archiving, the museum part. Try to treasure those because they're very historical. I was talking with the Lewises here. Being part of the photography department and history department in a lot of ways, we're trying to give information and spread it to our second generation so they understand how the true parents through photographs, videos, our testimonies, trying to get them to understand so that if they haven't been able to see true parents that often or ever, they can have some kind of relationship with true parents in that way. Through our testimonies especially, I'm trying to spread the word to write your testimonies down, experiences, so that you can give them to your children and grandchildren. And then that way, they can pass it on to others. But the children in second generation, third generation can be really inspired by true parents directly. So like when everybody was anxious to see true mother again, she was sitting there waiting, because she knew that she wanted to see her emotionally and artistically. So if be able to write your testimonies, share them with your children, pass it on to future generations, and then they will be able to be inspired and truly work harder. Thank you.
All right, great suggestion, great idea. So, yeah, capturing your story, your personal experience with Father and Mother Moon in their role as true parents would be a great way to pass that legacy down to the next generation. Okay, anyone else like to share? All right, Shojin. Thanks for volunteering.
Thank you. Yeah, so kind of what I was sharing about was how us as like second generation, like especially in this new era, we need to step up in what we're passionate about and what we like to do. And when it comes to like our careers and our passions and doing these things that we're interested in, right, we should be able to naturally witness to people that we talk to, right, and not have this fear from the experience of like the first generation that they experienced, right? But really have like this proudness and this confidence in sharing like this truth and what God really wants us to share to people through like our careers or what it is that we're passionate about and things that we want to share to the people that we meet on like a day-to-day basis, right? So that's kind of how I feel is like the most important thing is like God didn't want like a religion that separates people and wants like the outside community is kind of like scared to like approach like, oh, religion is kind of a touchy subject now, but he wants like a family and that kind of culture. So it shouldn't be something that we as second generation or anyone should shy away from sharing our experience, but we should be happily be able to invite other people to this kind of community environment. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Shojin. So, in conclusion, yeah, I just want to encourage you guys to know in your heart that you are the children of God and our beloved true parents, and be proud of it. Find a way to find your unique talent, your passion, and that unique expression of God's gift to you, and use that to contribute to a better world. So let's do that this week. Think about how you can express that to your family, your neighbors, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you everyone for coming.